Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on monthly compilation for the PIB, and I'll be discussing the compilation for the month of July. Whatever news that was reported in the PIB and that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination, I'll make discussion to that. PIB compilation file is very important for both prelims and mains examination. This will give you a hand-on idea about the part of news that is relevant. And a small request for all the aspirants, you need to watch the PRS file as well in combination so that you get the maximum benefit out of the compilation file, because most of the bill that is there in the PRS has also been discussed. So you can have a combination of these two, PIB and PRS, to get a fruitful result. So without any further ado, let's get started. So how we'll be moving in the discussion part? I have segregated the part of the discussion on several aspects. The first, we'll see the General Studies Paper 2 related news, then General Studies Paper 3, some news that is brief in nature for the news in brief for prelims examination, bilateral agreement and summits, and we'll end the session by military exercise and the initiative. So let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. So starting this session with General Studies 2, that is relevant for GS Paper 2, we'll see that. First is National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission, something very important which government had set target also. And it is something which is very important for a country like India, considering the fact that this particular disease is among the highest compared to many other countries. So the Prime Minister has launched the National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Mission in Madhya Pradesh. Sometimes there can be a direct question about the venue, not specifically in the civil services examination, but many other government examination. The National Sickle Cell Anemia Mission was announced in the Union Budget 2023, and this particular mission aims to address the part of health challenges posed due to the sickle cell diseases, particularly among the tribal people. So tribal population in particular, in general, are specifically prone to the part of sickle cell anemia, and the mission aims to eliminate the sickle cell disease as a public health problem by 2047. So this is a target date, again important for prelims examination also, and you can even use this as a fodder point in the mains. Now, what is sickle cell anemia? How does it look like? You can see this. These are the normal blood cell, that is RBC, right? So these are the normal RBC, and these are the sickle cell RBC. The name, it is evident. This is how the shape changes, right? So sickle cell anemia is described as a collection of inherited red blood cell conditions which impact the part of hemoglobin. There are less hemoglobin which is there in the sickle cell anemia, which transport less oxygen throughout the body. When a person is having a sickle cell anemia, the hemoglobin become defective, which make the red blood cell harder and it make it sticky, and the appearance is looking like the sheet shape. You can see with these images, and this is known as sickle cell, right? Now, the sickle cell cases in India, specifically there are some states which are most prone to that. So 13 states in the country are there: Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and Maharashtra are having the high prevalence of this disease, right? Among the other, और कुछ states की बात करें, Bihar, Assam, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh have a partial prevalence of the sickle cell disease. Now, the person suffering from the sickle cell disease face numerous health problems, including the part of persistent pain, fatigue, anemia, which significantly impact the quality of life. Now, what are the approaches to eliminate the sickle cell anemia? Government of India has come up with a lot more initiatives and programs and policies. So efforts are being made. First, अगर बात करें prevention की, prevention is something which is very important that will ensure that the cases are not becoming on the higher side. The second approach is to manage the part of treatment, providing adequate healthcare facilities to the individual who are actually affected with the disease. And third is a comprehensive ecosystem that is being developed to the part of aspect, ensuring the proper healthcare management of the sickle cell anemia patients. गवर्नमेंट इंटरवेंशंस की अगर बात करें sufficient amount has been allocated for the eradication of the sickle cell anemia. उसके अलावे technological upgradations, providing training to the healthcare worker, ensuring the necessary infrastructure, and even the social awareness participation is important. Now, this endeavor are the result of strong determinations of the policy decision. आयुष्मान भारत स्कीम के थ्रू भी गवर्नमेंट ने इंपॉर्टेंट स्टैब्लिशमेंट किए जहाँ पे 1.6 लाख हेल्थ और वेलनेस सेंटर बनाए गए हैं टू प्ले अ क्रूशियल रोल इन द पार्ट ऑफ epidemics and COVID-19. This will also help for the patient of sickle cell anemia. And center will also play a significant role in eradicating the sickle cell along with the part of other diseases. Now there's other bill, that is Cinematography Amendment Bill. The Cinematography Amendment Bill is again important because it has brought in some important changes. So the Rajya Sabha has passed Cinematography Amendment Bill 2023, which will amend the part for Cinematography Act of 1952. इस बिल की बात करें, it's reduced the part of stringent anti-piracy privacy, और इसके थ्रू जो सेंसरशिप है, कॉपीराइट के जो इश्यूज हैं उसको एक डायरेक्शन मिलेगी and they will have a legitimate right how the things will proceed. Penal provisions are also there. तो provisions की बात करें, the bill intended to cover the part of film industries which actually was suffering from the part of piracy, और काफ़ी ज़्यादा लॉस हुई है इस इंडस्ट्री. The bill proposed a jail term of 3 years and fine up to 5% of the total value of the production's cost. अगर किसी भी प्राइस जो वैल्यू है उसकी 5% of the production cost will be liable, or 3 years of the jail term, right? So this is what the government has incorporated in the bill. The bill seeks to amend the Cinematography Act of 1952, which authorized the Central Board of Film Certifications to require film and clear them with exhibitions in cinema or on the televisions. The government will have the revisionalization power. उसके अलावे अगर बात करें जो superseding power होगी वो सिर्फ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास होगी. They will decide upon the part for the CBFC की जो डिसीजन है उसको अगर चेंजेस करनी है तो वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास होगी. Now, prohibitions on the part of unauthorized recording of the film. The bill further seeks to introduce the part of new sections जिसमें Cinematography Act में नई provisions लाई गई हैं that will prohibit the part of unauthorized recording. You have seen that many people are actually recording in theater and they are making the files, they're selling it out of the market, which will be completely prohibited. This provision of 6AA prohibits recording of any kind of the part of the film or sold for the devices which is further mentioned. Now, age rating for the film will also be there. The bill introduced 3 kind of rating. The first is that is for UA rating, UA 7+, UA 13+, and UA 16+. Right? The film rating for the adult are largely been prohibited on television following the Bombay High Court order. The High Court has specifically come up with the order. Broadcaster often cut the film voluntarily. They can reapply for the CBFC under the UA, and the bill formalizes this practice. Now, Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. It's a controversial bill that has been passed in the monsoon session. It has lot to talk about the part of RTA, और आपसे मेंस एग्जामिनेशन में उस एंगल पे भी क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं. So make a good point about that, how the RTI is being impacted with the part of Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. So Union Cabinet has given the note for this particular bill. The next course of action will be tabled during the monsoon session, which is actually be tabled, and the parliament is over now. The session is over now. Now, aim of this bill is to make the entities like internet companies, mobile app, business houses, which will be accountable for the part of collections and even the processing the data as a part of right to privacy. Work की अगर बात करें, this particular bill will be starting after the Supreme Court in August ruling with right to privacy as a fundamental right. और बहुत सारे important issues में Supreme Court ने right to privacy की बात की. The Data Protection Board will decide upon the dispute to as per the causes for the victim and will have the claim for the compensation by approaching the civil courts. So accordingly, the hierarchy has been decided. The bill proposes to levy the penalty of 250 crore rupees on entity for instances and violation of the bill. Now, grievance redressal के लिए कुछ important issues रखी गई हैं. The bill entails that allow the lay persons to complain for the Data Protection Board consist of the technical team और ये देखेंगे कि क्या किसी तरह की violation हुई या नहीं. The bill will consist of investigation and it bridges. Citizen will have a right to claim compensation for approaching the civil court, and there are a lot of things that will evolve gradually, right? According to the sources, individual will have the right to seek the details about the data collection, storage, processing once the law is implemented. Now, concerned by the RTA activists, this is what I was talking about at the beginning. RTA activists ने concern raise की है कि इस बिल में बहुत सारे ऐसे डिपार्टमेंट हैं जिनको अपने RTI informations देने से prohibit किया गया है. They are not liable to share the information. So these are something which can even hold informations जिसे डिमांड करने की बात है इंडिविजुअल पब्लिक को, और अकाउंटेबिलिटी जो स्टैंडर्ड सेट की गई थी कहीं ना कहीं ये जो organization या फिर जो डिपार्टमेंट इसे exempt किए गए हैं will be taking the advantages. Now, any person data will not be shared with the third party. However, the person who choose to breach can have their own information through the RTA. Now, some important news that is related to General Studies Paper 3. Draft National Deep Tech Policy 2023. This was a bill or the policy that was released by the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor. The deep tech startup uses early stage technology that are yet to be developed for the commercial applications. अगर बात करें इस particular policy की, that develop the timeline and highlight the capital intensive. This is highly capital intensive. Now, this particular policy will also provide for the roadmap how the tech startup are working in India. थीम की अगर बात करें, फर्स्ट इज नर्चरिंग रिसर्च डेवलपमेंट इन इनोवेशन, स्ट्रेंथनिंग द IPR regime. IPR is something which is very important. Facilitating the part of accessing the fund, enabling shared infrastructure and resource sharing, creating conducive regulation, standards and certifications, attracting the part of human resources, initiating capacity building, promoting and procurement and adaptations, ensuring policies and program linkages, which is again important, and sustainable deep tech startup that should be there. So these are some of the main themes that has been there in the draft bill. Some key features की अगर बात करें, first is about the research and development. एक बहुत ही important पहलू है इस particular policy की. It seeks to enhance the partnership between the academic institution and industries, guideline for the commercialization of publicly funded research. For strategic sector, deep tech startup have restricted access to their test sites, demonstrating the part of testing. For the sector, the policy proposes to create network of standardized field and experimental sites. Intellectual property rights की अगर बात करें, this will definitely strengthen the part of IPR, established a single window platform for unified IP framework, strengthen the cross-border IP protections, streamline the patent application process. Funding की अगर बात करें, the draft funding noted that it is necessary to facilitate the target for long-term funding of the deep tech startup, creating platform to capture the life cycle of the government grant payment, direct corporate social responsibility fund to science-based research, create a fund dedicated to the deep tech investment, or use technology impact bond to get investment from the public and philanthropic entities. तो फंडिंग एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज है स्टार्टअप्स के लिए, which will be definitely addressed by this. Free trade agreement, better known as FTA, that will be again one considerations, right? So this policy enables the deep tech startup to penetrate the global market for the inclusion of FTA, and it will also promote the part for the mitigating import dependency and the supply chain vulnerabilities of the raw material that will be used by the deep tech startups. G20 Energy Minister meeting. This was a part of the G20 which India is currently chairing. Something very important, there are different vertical where meeting is ongoing. For this time, it was an energy minister meeting. So Prime Minister of India has recently addressed the G20 energy meet, and in this address, Prime Minister has categorically highlighted about the green growth, energy transition, which is again very important to attain the part of sustainable development. And he also asserted that countries moving strongly on the climate commitment. India has made commitment with regard to the net zero emissions. अगर net zero emissions की बात करें, by 2070 India has committed, and there are several other targets to ensure the sustainable development, and there are many platforms where India has actually made the commitment. तो उस ख्याल से green growth और energy transition काफी important. Now, talking about the green growth and energy transition, India is making a great effort for the green growth and energy transition. India is the most populated nation and fastest growing large economy. India has achieved the non-fossil installed energy capacity in 9 years, and India plan to achieve 50% of the fossil fuel by 2030. So this is a part of Panchamrit initiative. India achieved a non-fossil instant target for the electric capacity 9 years in advance. अचीवमेंट सो पार की अगर बात करें क्या क्या ऐसी अचीवमेंट्स है जो इंडिया ने एक्चुअली मीट कर ली है. इंडिया बिगन टू पार्ट फॉर द स्लो मूवर इन लॉन्चिंग द पार्ट ऑफ एलईडीज, राइट, विच हैज़ एक्चुअली बीन टर्न अराउंड. और एलईडी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम के अंदर काफ़ी ज़्यादा बेनिफिट हुई है. द रोल आउट ऑफ 20% ऑफ इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग, that is for 2023, aims to cover the entire country by 2025. Decarbonizing India, the work on the mission mode green hydrogen as a part of alternative to aims and transform the global hub for the production and the use of green hydrogen and its derivatives. Government के क्या initiatives है इस regard में? There are a lot of initiatives that government has taken. First is a part of सप्तऋषि और 7 प्रायोरिटीज जो ग्रीन ग्रोथ को डिफाइन करती हैं. उसके अलावा बजट में भी बहुत सारे ऐसे इनिशिएटिव्स रखे गए हैं. द बजट हैज़ कैटेगोरिकली रिलीज्ड 1.02 बिलियन सेंट्रल सपोर्ट प्रोग्राम फॉर ISTS infrastructure development in the green energy that was there in the Ladakh was also announced. In November 2022, Prime Minister has actually dedicated 600 megawatt Kemeng hydropower plant in Arunachal Pradesh, and India has set target for the carbon intensity, that is by less than 45%, and achieve 50% of the cumulative water that is for renewable and achieve the net zero emissions by 2070. The low carbon technology could also create market worth of 80 billion by 2030. Semicon India 2023. This was again something very important. India aims and endeavor to reach the part of semiconductor which is Indianly developed, और जो manufacturing है semiconductor की वो इंडिया में ही करने की बात की गई है. Recently, the Prime Minister has inaugurated Semicon India 2023 in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. The theme for Semicon India was catalyzing India's semiconductor ecosystem. The Prime Minister noted that India can become a trusted chip supplier for the world. The conference was attended by the top representative from the major companies such as Micron Technology, Applied Material, Foxconn, Cadence और AMD. ये कुछ ऐसे रेपुटेड मैन्युफैक्चरर्स है वर्ल्ड वाइड जिनकी प्रेजेंस देखी गई इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में, इस कॉन्क्लेव में. Since then, several product technology has joined the semiconductor industries, boosting India's manufacturing. Semiconductor industries की अगर बात करें, India definitely can play a huge role in the semiconductor industry. और इंडिया ने फोकस की है जहाँ पे चिप मेकिंग पे स्पेसिफिकली फोकस है, दैट शुड बी इंडिजियसली डेवलप्ड, backing the part for stable and the self reform oriented government initiative. Further incentive की गई है जहाँ पे India is one of the lowest corporate tax compared to other countries, और taxation process में काफ़ी ज़्यादा changes की गई है which has become faceless and seamless. The government has provided spaceless incentive to the part of semiconductor industries. Additionally, India के जो export है, export electronic manufacturing में that has been doubled, 200 mobile manufacturing units set किए गए. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर्स की अगर बात करें, इंडिया ने काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रोग्रेस किया है. इट हैज़ सीन 300 बिलियन ओवर 100 बिलियन. दिस आर द चेंजेस दैट हैज़ बीन देयर. एंड अबाउट एग्जिस्टिंग इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की बात करें, द कंट्री हैज़ अ प्रेजेंस ऑफ 200 मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट्स. द सेमिकॉन इंडिया कॉन्फ्रेंस 200 द पार्ट ऑफ US चिप मेकर बात करें AMD की, दे हैव एक्चुअली मेड प्रेजेंस, और इन्होंने कहा कि बेंगलुरु में अपने प्लांट को सेटअप करेंगे, which will call for a lot more investment and even providing the employment opportunities. The Biological Diversity Amendment Bill 2021, directly relevant for the prelims examination. Even you can expect a direct question in the mains also. The Biological Diversity Bill was passed by the Lok Sabha. It amended the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. और इस एक्ट के थ्रू कंजर्वेशन ऑफ बायोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज, बेनिफिट शेयरिंग टू द लोकल कम्युनिटीज़ और बायोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज और एसोसिएट के नॉलेजेस में भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा चेंजेस की गई हैं. There's some part of concern that has also been raised, but first I'll tell you the part of the main provisions. The Act set up the National Biodiversity Authority and the State Biodiversity Authority for the regulation purposes as a nodal body. Provisions की अगर बात करें, first is exemption from the prior intimations to SSB, right? So under the Act, जो domestic entities होंगी, they must have the intimations to SSB before obtaining the biological resources for India for for the commercial utilization. तो सेंटर ने several इस तरह के जो पार्ट हैं उनको exempt किया first, but the use of the part of the local bodies, communities, including the grower and cultivators, Hakim's practice and indigenously medicine को allowed की गई. The bill adds the part of knowledge associated with the biological resources, commercial utilization that will require the prior intimations. It also exempts the part of prior intimations regarding the access to qualified traditional knowledge, use of cultivated medicine plant in their product, and use of Ayush practitioner for subsistence and their livelihood. So these are the provisions, main provisions that has been brought in. Focus and priorities की अगर बात करें जो corporation framework की, that will focus on the part where the part of transformation is not just access on the basic requirements such as water, electricity. That would be important for the part of quality, and issues are more relevant for the future, right? The new framework is a critical juncture that reaches for the part of halfway mark 2030 ki agenda for the sustainable development will be taken care. Benefit sharing की अगर बात करें, the act has a benefit sharing provisions which is applicable to the research activity, commercial utilizations as well as biosurvey and bioutilization of certain entities. और इस बिल के थ्रू बहुत सारी चीज़ों को रिमूव की गई है, दैट इज द एप्लीकेबिलिटी ऑफ रिसर्च, बायो सर्वे एंड बायो यूटिलाइजेशंस. बेनिफिट शेयरिंग की अगर बात करें, दैट रेफर्स टू द रिक्वायर्ड एंड मॉनिटरी एंड नॉन मॉनिटरी बेनिफिट्स दैट विल हैव अ बेनिफिट क्लेम फॉर द लोकल पीपल. और बेनिफिट क्लेमर्स जो होंगे आर कंजर्वर, पार्ट ऑफ द बायोडाइवर्सिटी, क्रिएटर्स एंड होल्डर्स फॉर एसोसिएटेड नॉलेज. डीक्रिमिनलाइजेशन ऑफ सर्टेन ऑफेंसेस, इस एक्ट के थ्रू जो नई बिल लाई गई है उसमें सर्टेन प्रोविजंस में डीक्रिमिनलाइजेशन ऑफेंसेस की बात की गई है, दैट कॉल्स फॉर द अप्रूवल फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग द प्रायर इंटिमेशंस फॉर वेरियस एक्टिविटीज. नाउ दीज ऑफेंसेस आर पनिशेबल विद द प्रायर up to 5 years and a fine up to both, right? The bill decriminalizes the part of offenses which make the punishable with the part of penalty of 1 lakh rupees or 50 lakh rupees. So these are the changes that has been brought in. आपको अमाउंट याद करने की जरूरत नहीं, but the changes which is there you should note that. Now some news which is brief in nature, that is a part of the Lucerne Diamond League Award. Neeraj Chopra ने back किया, has become the gold medalist to achieve this. And 2023 Diamond League Award was the 14th season of the annual series that outdoor the part that was organized by the World Athletics. Now there is 5 Asian Athletics Championship. Why I'm discussing? Because UPSC has started asking the questions from the sports. So you must know some of the basics, right? So total 27 medals ली है इंडिया ने as a part. The 27 part of the medal which was include 6 gold, 12 silver and 9 bronze, right? The Asiatic part of the athletics competition is 25th edition and it was organized at 12 to 16 of July in Bangkok in Thailand. Sometimes the venue become important. This is for the first time that the Thailand has hosted this event since 1973. Now, which are the champions which has bagged the part? I mean, something can be important for the other government examination also. So you can check out the list and you can take this screenshot for your better references. Now, International Exhibition Cum Conventional Center, Prime Minister ने inaugurate किया है इसे. This is in Delhi. This is also known as Bharat Mandapam, right? It's a state-of-art convention center specifically dedicated for the part of G20 meeting. And G20 coin की गई थी as a part of stamp for the grand opening. The Bharat Mandapam complex, which was the part of the approximate total expenses at 2,700 crore rupees बताई गई है. And this mandapam has a magnificent part of the multi-purpose hall, which has a seating capacity of 7,000 people and has a something which incorporate all the state-of-art technology. और इसकी seating capacity जो सिडनी में ओपेरा हाउस है उससे भी ज़्यादा होगी. You can see the image over here. This is the mandapam which actually look like. Chandrayaan 3. This is again a milestone achievement for India that has posed history once again. Lunar exploration mission के through. The launch was made fourth part. I mean, the country India has been the 4th country. Third attempt ने इंडिया ने इस तरह की great success achieve की है. This is a third part of Russia, USA और China के बाद India has become the 4th country to achieve that in its third attempt. Now some bilateral agreement and summits. India and France to develop the jet engine, something important. अगर आप PSIR optional के student हैं, and you need to take care of this. इंडिया और फ्रांस ने जॉइंटली डेवलप किया है कॉम्बैट एयरक्राफ्ट इंजन फॉर द मल्टी रोल हेलीकॉप्टर्स विच विल बी डेवलप्ड बाय द Hindustan Aeronautical Limited. So this is taken care by this. And taking the part of defense cooperation, India and France has a new level of cooperations between the part of multi-role helicopters की अगर बात करें aeronautical technologies में भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा help करेंगी for India. France is an important partner of Make in India and even Rafales की अगर बात करें they have been helping out for the technology transfer also. Space sector corporations, India and France has announced cooperations on a small advanced molecular finalizations and even joined the Earth observation among the others. अगर दोनों countries ने कुछ critical components पे बात की है, building blocks, even for the Indo-French part of the technology transfer, which I have already talked about. MOU साइन की गई है indigenous light combat helicopters के लिए, right? Aircraft that will be there. MK2 ऐसे aircraft हैं जो कि actual में काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंडिया में uses हैं. India has been looking for the part of engines, which will be the 5th air medium combat aircraft under the development, and this will be providing the part of engines, which will be refueling many other the part of aircraft that is used in India, specifically for the Indian Air Force. India UAE rupee dirham deal. We'll see the details. India और UAE ने रूपी दिरहम डील किया प्राइम मिनिस्टर के रीसेंट विजिट में अबू धाबी में. And the deal was significant as a part of trade between India and UAE, lowering the transition cost, making it easier for the country to convert the currency. UAE-India trade की अगर बात करें, this has increased approximately 15% in the implementation of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. The bilateral trade include the part of purchase that has reached up to 85 billion, of which UAE export up to $50 billion. बायलैटरल रिलेशंस की अगर बात करें दोनों कंट्री के बीच में एससीओ के डायलॉग पार्टनर के टाइम भी मीटिंग हुई है एंड इवन द ब्रिक्स ग्रुपिंग इज समथिंग व्हिच इज इमर्जिंग. द यूए प्रेसिडेंट इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू विजिट इंडिया, हैज ऑलरेडी मेड सितंबर में आने वाले हैं ड्यूरिंग द G20 समिट एंड इज अ स्पेशल इनवाइटी दैट हैज बीन इनवाइटेड. प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया हैज बीन इनवाइटेड टू अटेंड द COP28 मीटिंग इन दुबई इन November 2023. Some military exercises and initiative. This is specifically helpful for all the aspirant who are appearing for the CAPF examination. Now, India-Japan Maritime Exercise 2023, 7th editions की गई थी जिसे JMEX भी कहते हैं. It is conducted by, actually it was conducted off Visakhapatnam. The exercise marked 11th anniversary of the JMEX. JMEX is a series of a maritime exercise conducted by Indian Navy, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Forces. Both sides were engaged in the part of military exercises. 3 domains and maritime war surfaces were there. JMEX ended with the high note, revalidating common procedures and enhancing the part of interoperability between the India and JMSDF. Second is India-Australia Defense Policy. This is again important. 8th India-Australia Defense Policy talk हुई थी at Canberra in Australia. The decision was taken to focus upon the part of strengthening partnership and co-development and co-productions of the defense equipment. During the part, both sides has reviewed the bilateral cooperations and even 2 countries were exploring the new initiatives further strengthening and deepening the bilateral engagement. India and Australia partnership is based on the shared vision of free, open and inclusive prosperous Indo-Pacific region, and on several occasions and several platforms, India has called about the neutrality in the Indo-Pacific region. Nomadic Elephant 2023. This is the last point of the discussion that we are having today. So Indian Army contingent comprises of 43 personnel from Mongolia to participate in the 15th editions of the military exercise, that is Nomadic Elephant 23. Very important, there can be a direct question from this particular exercise. So this exercise is the annual training event of Mongolia and India conducting for the part alternatively. This exercise helped to build a positive relationship, exchange of best practices, interoperability, the part of the friendship between the 2 armies, or the part of the armies which is there will help out in getting the part of the technologies and incorporating the best practices. The primary theme of the exercise will focus on the counter-terrorism operations, the part of mountainous terrain under the United Nations mandate, जो कि extended mandate है वो दोनों countries ने follow की है. So this was all about for the discussion on the part of PIB. You need to have a combination of both PRS and PIB. आप इसे combinations में देखें with PRS, right? So this will help you. PRS plus PIB will help you for the all part of the contemporary news that is circulating, right? And this will even help you to gauge an extra mark in both prelims and mains examination. So do check it out. दोनों के combinations में देखना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Now we'll conclude the session. We have a lot more other initiatives for you like daily news and editorial analysis, which are covered from the Hindu and Indian Express. I gested कि magazine आप हमारे website से download कर सकते हैं. News in Focus, where I cover a relevant topic in brief, which will give you a complete idea about that. So these all initiatives will help you to sail through the journey of civil services. Other than this, if you have any other concern, queries about the admissions, test series and program, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.